It feels like there's a lot of division on this issue between the premiers of Alberta and BC. Do you think that's going to get in the way of, Canadian prosperity, as you were just saying, is the end goal of all of this?
In negotiations, people have different ideas, different opinions, but that's what negotiations are about. I think we have to look at what the end result is here, what dialogue is coming out, and what the agreement in the end becomes. So it's premature, irresponsible for anybody to talk about, what people think and who's saying what until there is something that's on paper that comes out.
Do you think that the province of BC should have a veto over whether or not a pipeline gets through?
Well, that's not what the constitutional authorities say in terms of what Canada is responsible for in terms of interprovincial projects. But it sounds like our Prime Minister already said yesterday in the House that yes, to a certain extent, BC will be a veto.
And what about for First Nations communities?
Well, that's already laid out in the case law, specifically the Hydro Court case of 2004. There's a whole roadmap on how rights and titles should be addressed.
And what are your constituents telling you about whether or not they want a pipeline?
I haven't really heard anything just yet. But what I'm telling everybody that asks me about is exactly what I'm telling you. We won't know until we see the specific application. And then the next step should be, will it be fast-tracked in the same manner that they fast-tracked the high-speed rail, for instance, meaning government will use expropriation powers, for example. Fast-tracking can involve any number of different issues in regards to government actions.
Well, I know that as a First Nations person, that the title and rights of First Nations and Indigenous communities are of the utmost importance, and to ensure that as much consultation and agreement with First Nations is the most important for anything to go forward. Well, I've talked to a lot of my First Nations colleagues. I've been involved in First Nations politics for a long time, and I will ensure them that I'll be in great dialogue with them over the next number of months.
I think we should be talking about an MOU where Alberta and the Government of Canada got on the same page in terms of meaningful action on methane, meaningful action on industrial carbon pricing, meaningful action on carbon capture and sequestration would be incredible for the climate. And I think that's something that my BC colleagues would be very excited about.
No, I'd just say I'm sure I will have lots to say, and I will have a more fulsome answer in terms of how I think things are going and how we could improve upon things. But I'll let the Prime Minister have the first word and share with some clarity what his vision is and what the partnership is there. I think that's absolutely fair, and then I'll have lots more to say, and we can chat more about it afterwards.
You're worried about blowback politically in BC and other places?
I mean, again, I think the question is less about what are the politics of this, is what's the right answer as it relates to the country's best interests, but also our global best interests. Is this right for our kids? Is this right for our country's future? Is this right for our planet's future? So we'll see. But I mean, he's a really thoughtful guy. He was the former UN climate envoy. He comes at this from a really intelligent, thoughtful place. He obviously led efforts around climate finance. So I think he's got a lot of personal stake in this as well. And so you'll see what shakes out tomorrow, and I'm sure myself and others will have lots to say after that.